Hey guys, Sean Bougie, surplusfundsriches.net. This video is about something that I've been meaning to talk about for some time, but with all the cancel culture out there and how people get crazy these days, it's so polarizing. Some topics are so polarizing that people kind of go nuts. And I didn't know how to approach it, so I finally, after talking a lot with Jeff, my business partner, just said, hey, look, man, I'm just going to put it out there because people are either going to get it or they're not. So this is about profit. And somewhere along the way, in the last 3 to 5 years, people have decided that the only way other people make profit is they screw somebody. Or if I'm not willing to walk away from a deal, if I'm not willing to do whatever it takes to put a deal together, regardless of what my margin says, I'm not creating a win-win situation. Let me address all this, guys, because, well, first of all, this is something Jeff brought up, and I respect Jeff, so I agree with him on this after talking it through with him. If you're watching a video about flipping property and you're angry because people are making profit, or someone's making money, or maybe I'm getting a property, they're getting a property for cheaper than market, what are you watching the video for? If you want to get into real estate flipping and investment, you want to do so to profit. Now, let's do a quick definition before I get into the rest of this, because it's going to be a little bit of a rant. The guys out there that are business people are going to go, way to go, Sean. Thank you for actually putting this out there and not being afraid. But so the definition of profit is to make enough money to where you're comfortable, or the money you want to make after you have paid all of your costs. Okay? That means after I pay the owner what we've agreed to, after I've paid any debt off that I need to do, because we buy pre-tax sale property primarily. So this is property that's going into tax deed sale, tax deed foreclosure, whatever you want to call it. So as a result, I'm going to have to pay that off to stop the foreclosure. Plus, I'm going to have to give the owner some money, okay, to get them on their way. And it has to be good enough that, hey, guys, I'm competing, okay? It's not just me calling these guys. It's not just me calling. I'm going to make the best offer I can, where I can also make the profit I need to cover the cost of my mailings, my calls, the cost of the mailings in terms of printing, okay, postage, the time my crew takes to do it. I'm paying people extremely well on my crew. I'm responsible. I have 5 people on payroll that I'm responsible for, that they're earning a living for their families. That's a monstrous responsibility, okay? And I take that very, very, very seriously. So I have to make enough where I can pay their bills indirectly by paying them, right? And have enough money left after I pay all their bills, all the costs, and electricity for the office, and gas, and water, and the coffee, and the printing, and all of it, okay? I got to pay all that and still have a couple of bucks left where I can continue to move on and make some money and pay my bills. In addition to that, I have to make money to where I have money left to buy the next deal, right? I can't just break even after all of that and then I'm dead in the water. I have to make enough to keep going. Also, just a quick note, guys. When I make an offer to somebody, they're adults, just like I'm an adult. I'm not taking advantage of them. I'm an adult. I'm giving a property owner an offer. They can take it or not. They don't have to take it. I'm not going out there and putting a gun to their head to make them take my offer, okay? So this idea that flippers are screwing people by buying property under value is kind of silly, ridiculous, naive, and childish, okay? So, having said all that, I make the best offer I can, and I take all the risk. Now, I buy property that is crap, that I can turn around and sell to an investor in a couple of weeks, and they'll do the fix-up and flip. I don't buy land typically, okay? I will buy property that's falling into the dirt. And the reason I will do that instead of just land, it's already got the gas hookups, it's already got the electric hookups and the water and all of that. So the investor has two options. They can treat it like a prepped lot. They could demo the house, and now he doesn't have to worry about zoning and code because it's already set up with all of his hookups. You got to double check that stuff still, guys, but it's already set up for that. Now, the other thing is, he or she could also go ahead and fix it up instead. Make the repairs, fix it up, use whatever bare bone structure he can, and add to it and get on with it. So I buy the junk. I buy trash that most investors are actually looking for right now, but they can't get it at auction because everybody's bidding too high on it. I buy it pre-auction. I get it for a price that's good enough that I can take the risk that I'm going to be able to sell it later to an investor for cash, usually in a couple of weeks. Okay? I'm not screwing anybody. And another thing that people bring up, now I'm going to bring up a couple things that have come up as comments because they're kind of silly to me. Okay, I'm being kind with that. So one of the things people bring up is, Sean, why don't you just keep the property and rent it back to the people that owned it? Just rent it back a little cheaper than what the market is. Well, first of all, why would I rent it to anybody cheaper than what the market rent is? That's stupid. Why would I do that? Because I'm just a nice guy? I'm not doing this for giggles. I'm doing this, again, to pay my bills, take care of my crew, and make a living. And a good living at that. But the major argument I get from people is, why don't you rent it back to the people that have it? Well, listen, guys, they haven't been able to pay their taxes per year, which are maybe $2,000 a year. So what am I going to have to charge them in rent that they can afford? They haven't been able to afford about $160 a month. So am I going to charge them $120 a month to live in a property that I just paid off $5,000 worth of taxes? And what about the money that I was going to give them then? Do I still give them money on top of that? Guys, it's not a good risk. It's a really stupid argument. I'm just going to put that out there. It's a stupid argument that I could rent it back to the people that haven't paid their taxes. It's idiotic. And I've had owners go, hey, look, how about you do that? You pay off the taxes and rent it back to me. Hey, listen, you haven't been able to pay $2,000 a year. Me being honest, a year in taxes. You're not a good risk for me. You weren't afraid of the county. Okay? That wasn't enough incentive for you to make your payments, so you're certainly not going to pay me. You're not. You're not going to pay me. So, no, I'm going to buy it from you. You're going to get out. Now, guys, another thing I do is I'll give them time. Look, if they're in the property, I'll go, look, you can stay an extra month past when the auction date was going to be. That was going to be in 2 weeks, so you can stay 45 days. I've agreed maybe to pay this guy $12,000, okay, plus pay off $6,000 in taxes. For a property that I can probably flip to an investor for $35,000-$40,000, okay? I'm going to give him, say I agree to pay him $12,000. I'm going to give him probably $3,000-$4,000 after I've recorded the deed and paid off the taxes. I'm not going to pay off taxes for a property I don't own. Stupid, okay? And then I'm going to turn around after I've recorded the deed. Then I pay off the taxes because now I own the property. So, of course, I'm going to pay off the taxes. I don't want to be foreclosed on. Now I'm going to send the check to the owner. I'm going to send him $3,000 or $4,000 up front, the other $8,000 when they get out. And, guys, they've had years of notice from the tax people that they need to pay their bill and get out. Okay? So they have no fear. They would stay in the property if I gave them all the money up front and make me kick them out. Okay? That's what they did with the county, right? So I also say, look, you got to be out by June 15th, whatever, at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, okay? I will also say, for every day you're late, it's $1,000 or $2,000 less. And I'll put that all in the contract because they weren't afraid of the county. They won't be afraid of me. Now, right now, a lot of people go, oh, you're such a jerk. You got this. You're making money. What are you worried about? Hey, the reason I'm making money is because I'm making smart decisions. And I'm not judging these people. I understand. Sorry, the fire truck's going by. I understand that things happen to people. I understand that life happens. I understand that you get so far behind on your bills, or you get health issues that come up, or whatever. I'm giving them money. I'm giving them money. This is what they need to get on with their life. This thing could go to foreclosure and not sell, by the way. Okay? It could go and not sell. Hey, investors sometimes don't show up, believe it or not. And you're starting to see that a little bit at the auctions now. Investors sometimes don't show up. The owner isn't going to get a surplus, money left over after, the difference between what it sold for and what the county was owed usually goes back to the owner. Owners don't know about that. It's called surplus funds. It might not sell. They may make nothing. They may be living in their broken down car on the side of the road up front, which I have seen. I have seen that happen. Literally camped out in front of the house in their car living in it. I've seen people take car batteries, be squatters in that house, and hook stuff up to car batteries to run lights and stuff. Okay? That's the kind of stuff you see. You think it'd be better for them to go through that than to take my $12,000 and maybe go start renting a place and getting back on their feet, or even staying with a friend but having enough money to fix their car so they can work again? It amazes me the people out there that are they vilify profit. They say, if you're making profit, you screwed somebody. That's not the case. If I'm making profit, it's because I've given somebody money and I made an offer between adults that was accepted and was able to turn that into something more. I don't fix and flip, but I know how to sell property better to investors. Guys, if you want to get into any business, surplus funds or flipping property, you got to make profit. It's the only way you can continue to help people. It's the only way you can pay your own bills and go forward. And this idea that you could somehow just tell people, you make a lot of money so you can give stuff away. That is the silliest thing. And let me tell you what that is. I need to call you out on what that is. It's covetousness. Okay? Look it up. It's jealousy. It's you're not making that kind of money. So in order to justify the fact that you're not making that kind of money, you want to say that anybody that's making money is evil. Anybody that's making money is screwing someone else in order to do so. That is jealousy and covetousness, okay? If you would like to make the money that this other guy's making, go take the risks he's making. Take whatever savings you have and put it into a deal. I want to tell you something. I've told this to Jeff before too. At any given time, this is why we're careful. At any given time, I am 3 bad deals away from being in a financial situation, a crisis. If I put 3 deals together in a row that fall apart, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, okay? Because I would have spent all that money on that and got no return. I've had bad deals. I found out later that people were pooping in the crawl space, for goodness sake, okay? I found out later that it was a situation where what they didn't tell me was there was a tax overlay. I bought 3 golf course lots back when we bought land, and I got them super cheap, and I was like, man, I really scored a home run. Well, in addition to taxes that were owed on it, which I paid off, there was a weird tax overlay district on this property. $12,000 per lot. Had to let the thing go into foreclosure. There was no money left. After I paid everything off, there'd be no money left paying that off because nobody was buying those lots because there was that weird tax overlay. So people are taking risk in order to do this. And people that are riding the clock jockeys, okay, I know that's derogatory, don't care, that are clock jockeys, and that's all they've known, that are making fun of individuals that are taking risk and going out and trying to make a better life for themselves and the people that work for them. They don't know any better, and I get that, but a lot of it is you are being covetous. You are. You're coveting what somebody else has. You need to take a better look at it. And if you're looking at getting into business and surplus funds, the flipping business, you got to make profit, guys. It's not a dirty word, okay? You're taking all of the risk. You need to get the reward for that.